In this video, I wanted to talk about growth spurts. You know, we're made to grow, not just physically, as from a kid, but spiritually. And we're made to grow spiritually as well as in our minds. Like in terms of, you know, you can't talk when you're born, but you learn how to talk, you learn how to do math, you learn how to read, you learn how to everything, right? And you're supposed to always be moving up in growth, right? Now let's talk about growth. Let's define growth. You know, growth is something that's uncomfortable in and of itself, and the reason why it's uncomfortable is because it's more comfortable to remain than it is to do the work to expand, right? Because anytime that you're working, it's something that it's extra. It takes energy, right? Now, when you're growing, when you're evolving, when you're trying to head into a specific location and you're trying to reach that destination, it takes pressure, you know, obstacle courses. It takes the naysayers, the haters. It takes all that kind of stuff. The fire. Sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, and it takes all that to persist. There's a reason why there's only a select, I would say 10% of people that stand out. And you know, they stand out for being overcomers. They stand out for being people that didn't give up. You see them, they might have big muscles, right? And you're like, whoa, you know, it just takes you back like, wow, look at what a human being can achieve if they really put their mind to it and they really put their heart into it. It doesn't matter if it's fitness, it doesn't matter if it's being a genius. We've seen the people that put in the work, they can really show you what potential human being has. You know, look at the buildings we build, look at the aircrafts we have. The normal mind would say, man, how did we do that with these small little hands, right? Something so gigantic. So it just takes growth and development in order to get to the places where you can do great stuff like that. You have to use your imagination. That's the first thing I wanted to say. The first point is that it takes your imagination in order to visualize what it is that you want for yourself, your dream, your ambitions, your goals, right? The imagination, it needs to engage and connect itself to that. And then it's better if you put up, say, a picture, visualizing every day to remind yourself that this is where I'm heading. So if you want to break free from an addiction, if you want to, say, buy a house, if you want to form a family, surround yourself with those things of which you're able to focus in on, because it's going to take a lot of my second point, your focus and your concentration. It really does. There's a devotion to it. There is an applying yourself, and I'm not talking about 25%. You're going to have to overcome all those obstacle courses that we called out earlier. The obstacle course of the naysayers, the haters, the I don't see any results. You know, that's one of the biggest ones that people just give up because it's taking too long, right? It takes energy, it takes focus and concentration, perseverance, the imagination. It takes seeing what you're doing and the passion for wanting that thing to do. My third point is you have to have this anger. It's almost like an anger, or like as the things that we battle from within. There's certain voices in our minds. There's certain things in us, right? It could be spiritual. It could be our own mentality of how we trained ourselves to never go past a certain arcade or something like that. Like, we all have it, our limits. We're like, yeah. Like, for example, yesterday I told my son, I said, go and unlock the back door, you know, put the stick in the sliding back so that you can't open it. And then he went over there and he said, I can't find the stick. And then I was like, no, but look for it, it's around there. Now, he gave it a good 20 seconds of scouting the area and saying, no, it's not there. He came back to tell me that he can't find it. I said, son, you have to put in energy and time to find it. You will find it if you look for it. but you have to look for it, kind of like moving things around kind of thing. You can't just like scout the area with your eyes. If it's not there, then it might be under something or behind something. And he didn't understand the concept. He's like, dude, I looked for it and it's not there, and now it's annoying to me that you're telling me to go back to look for it some more. And I would, I'd let him know, hey, listen, you will find it, you will find it. So he went back, gave it another 10 seconds, came back to me, and now he's whining, a lot like us, we whine and moan and all this kind of stuff about things that are too hard, right? He gave it 10 seconds until he gave up, right? So my son, I'm using him as an example, he's gonna have to outgrow there's something in his mind that says this is as far as I can go, 10 seconds, in looking for something. The thing there is that thing that tells him, give up, that's the enemy. You have to see that thing as the enemy, because it's going to take the anger that says you're trying to stop me from greatness, you're trying to stop me from achieving my goal, because that's the barricade, that's the wall, that is the thing that is stopping you from achieving getting to what it is your goal. So again, if my son, as an example, were to tell that thing that tells him, you can't find it, if he were to tell him, take a hike, I don't care what you say, I'm going to continue to look this thing until I find it, and put some energy and some focus and concentration behind it, and really look at it from a perspective of. And the great thing about this right here, the mind, is that you can tweak it, you can change it, your perspective, and with every perspective you will draw out strength or reserve strength, right? Depending on how you're viewing the particular subject. So if it matters to you, if it's important to you, most people push beyond measures to getting what they want. For example, when I was a drug addict, you have no idea the things that I would do to get the drug. I would climb through second story windows. I would climb roofs and all that in the middle of the night to climb in windows in my neighbor's house, to my grandmother's house. It was my neighbor, to get money in the middle of the night. I know it's shady, I know it's shameful, I know it's guilty, but it's the things that drugs make you do. But in anybody's right mind, they would say, dude, are you kidding me? Like, are you really gonna climb that roof and go through the window in the middle of the night, and then you have to act like a ninja, be very quiet and all that to get like $20 or something like that? And it's like, if it matters to you, if it's important, if it weighs heavy enough for you to say it's important enough to me, then you'll do it. And so you have to change your perspective to whatever it is that's important to you, like say exercise and working out. You need to get to the place where if there's something in the way, that makes you want to quit, then that thing needs to get out of the way. However you choose to go about it, if you want to slay it, if you want to destroy it, if you want to see it as the devil himself, you have to overcome that thing, right? Whatever it is that's going to work for you. You want to visualize your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend as that voice, and you're like, yeah, you're not going to stop me. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's gonna take that type of energy, that type of focus to overcome that trial, that hurdle, right? So yesterday I was looking at a video by David Goggins. Now David Goggins is not a Christian, but David Goggins is a Navy SEAL, a 3-time Navy SEAL veteran that overcame his own mindset, because he used to be a very defeated individual in how he went about life. He was bullied, and he was insecure, and he never amounted to much, and he hated his own life. He hated so he one day got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and said, you know what, I'm gonna join the military. And he was overweight, he was over 300 pounds. This is his story. and they didn't take him because he was overweight. But you know what? He's like, you know what? I'll drop the weight. So right then and there, he decided within his own mindset, within his own spirit, like enough is enough. Like I don't want to be a loser my whole life. And so then he started to run, and he took all that frustration, all that anger, all that sadness, all that depression, all that stuff that was against him, and he put it on the line to do something positive. And he decided to run. And every time he wanted to quit, he would get mad at the fact that the failure wanted to quit. He's like, nah, I'm reinventing myself. No longer am I going to be a failure. No longer is the failure going to have his way with me. I'm going to tell you what to do. And he had a great point, and in terms of like how he. This is a revelation that I received. When you go through, when you go through enough stuff, you start to figure out how to appropriately go about the obstacle course of life. You find strategies, find ways, because you fail enough to say, okay, this ain't working, so what's gonna work? And so, like, he made a video, I watched it yesterday. He said, you know, when you're behind an obstacle and you can't seem to overcome it, go into your mind. You know, it might be that you're thinking about your kids, or you're thinking about your marriage, you're thinking about work, you're thinking about this, that, and the other. You can't focus in on what's right before you. So if you're trying to focus in your mind, it's one of those things that it can multitask to an extent, but not to the extent of you're going to be able to achieve a great thing while focusing on something on this side of the fence. It's like your mind's going to be like, dude, let's go over here and tend to this over here while you're doing this thing over here that matters to you right now. And so it's going to take that focus and concentration for you to focus on your homework, your testing. You can't be, you know, on YouTube as an example. So I wanted to tell you, like yesterday, the video was so inspiring to me that I got up. It was like 10:50 at night yesterday, and then I watched that video, and I've had that thing going on in my own life to where it's like I want to lose weight, and I was just like, what the heck is stopping me? Like, I like to exercise, but I'm not big on cardio. But like I was mentioning, David Goggins said that speech, and he said that, you know, you gotta see the petty attitude as the enemy. The sissy attitude, it's too hard. That you have to crush it. You have to defeat that thing. That is not you, right? You can't let that navigate you, because you're never gonna be a champion that way. So if you want to be an overcomer, you're gonna have to make that thing your slave, and make it, you know, put it on a leash, so to speak, you know, and force it to submit to you, right? Don't let it tell you what to do, right? Are you guys following me with what I'm saying? I'm talking about the insecurities that we have on the inside. I'm talking about the vulnerabilities, the I can't attitude, the it's too hard, it's gonna take too long. We have to make that thing submit to us. We can't follow that thing. We gotta view that thing like it's the mountain, it's the problem. It's not doing you any favors to sit down and pass another day up without pursuing what you want. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take sweat, blood, and tears sometimes. But it's worth it in the end to you, right? Because you're going to get what you want out of it, right? So if that's in the way, it's the enemy. And if that's the enemy, you can't treat it like a friend. You got to treat it like an enemy. You got to get mad, angry. You got to get upset. You got to force it to get out of the way and say, I'm pressing on, I'm pressing through. So yesterday, I sprinted for, it was a little under 20 minutes. It was like 15 minutes. I sprinted. And the only reason that I didn't do 20 minutes sprinting was because literally by minute 12 or something like that, I felt like I was gonna faint. So I pushed myself 3 more minutes on this my mind was like if I sucked in a bunch of helium. I was just like airheaded, like, oh man, I don't, yeah. And I pushed myself some more, 3 more minutes of sprinting after that, because that was trying to stop me from running, right? And when I got really bad in terms of I'm about to faint for real, I slowed down the speed and I finished out the 20 minutes. The point that I'm trying to make is this: we can do more than what we think we could do when we change our perception, when we change our mind, when we change the thoughts, when we, just forget about like the things that are trying to stop us. Those things, all they have is suggestions. All they have is opinions, and none of them is true. They think very small of you, and you have to prove to them that I'm way bigger than what you give me credit for. And we can't. There's illusions going on in our lives, within our own mindset. That the mirages are that there will be something that will be like, it could be a wall, it could be something that that looks like, oh, you can't go past this wall. And the people that you look up to break that wall. So the people on TV that you're like, man, I wish I was like him, or I wish I was like her, or whatever. Like, they see that wall and they have this tenacity inside of them. They have this, like, I don't care attitude. I'm gonna get what I want. I'm gonna get what I need. And you're in the way, so I'm taking you down. It takes that to get it. So that's the video. I just want to encourage anybody and inspire people to get at it. Because it's gonna take you to be a warrior, ruthless, to look at your challenges and say, you know what, I've been in this location far too long, and I've been telling myself I can't for years and years and years, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. You know what? I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna take that. It's gonna take a step up. For you to, because your mind often is not accurate on how hard or how easy it's going to be. Often your imagination, or you perceive things to look a certain type of way. Like, you're laying down on the bed and you're like thinking, I don't feel like doing crunches right now, and your mind makes it out to be something like it's grueling, like but when you're actually in the act and you're actually doing whatever it is that you were thinking about, when you're actually doing it, it's way different than what your mind made it out to be. And that's why you can't trust that kind of stuff. You gotta press on. It's not about what you want in terms of how you feel. It's about I'm gonna do it, right? Because that's how you get stuff done. That's how you get goals met. Right? People that follow their feelings, they're always falling short, because their feelings are always dictating when they should give up and when they should stop and this and that. Now, people that tell their mind what's gonna happen, because there's a difference between your mind telling you and you telling your mind, right? Your will tells your mind, nah, we ain't done yet. Your mind is like, hey, usually we give up by now, so let's go play video games. Let's go. And that's the flesh, right? And your will is supposed to kick in there and say, nah. We're doing something different now. That's what you see, the inspiring stories of people going from 400 pounds to 150 pounds. And you say, man, how'd you do it? They had to break barriers in their mindset. You think that their mind didn't tell them, like, hey, let's give up. This is hard, this and that. Every part of their being was telling them, hey, stop this. This is painful. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to do this anymore. And they had to retrain their minds to just not being a victim anymore. Don't be a victim anymore. Be a conqueror. Be an overcomer. Be challenge your own self, and you'll see that you are capable. You can do it.